Gennady's been one of the most patient mandatory challengers for that WBC title. He became the mandatory in October of 2014 when he beat Rubio. You know, that's been almost 2 years since Sergio fought Cotto. So at this point, there's really no excuse. Either the winner of Canelo-Khan fights him, or Gennady has to get the title. Other than that, there's really those are only two options.
So you really expect that after this fight, assuming that Canelo beats the belt basically goes into Golovkin's hands if he decides not to fight him next?
Of course, our first choice would be the fight with Canelo. I mean, that's the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. You know, when you can say that's clearly the biggest fight in the sport right now today, you know, that's there's really not too many excuses after that.
Question: how surreal it was for in Southern California for 16,000 people cheering Canelo, killing Golovkin when he was calling out Canelo. I mean, it's supposed to be other way around.
It's actually Max Kellerman that asked him if he would fight Canelo, and that's always been a clear answer for Gennady's side. That's all he's wanted to do. He wanted to fight Chavez Jr. first. Now Canelo's mandated, or the WBC champion's mandated to fight Gennady. So there's not, that's not his style. He provides excitement in the ring. He doesn't have to chase people. But at some point, he had the line now. It's like, look, just give me my belt. If you're not going to fight me, just give me the belt, and then he can go on to the next belt. Last year he beat David Lemieux, who was the IBF champion, a big puncher. He beat him, and then this year either the winner fights him or he'll get the WBC title. So step by step, he's accomplishing his goal. When he keeps selling out arenas like this, we expect the ratings on HBO with all the media publicity that he got about this fight. But Gennady's now lived in Los Angeles for over a year. To fight Dominic Wade from Washington D.C. to sell an arena like this, it's a big statement.
So Billy, do you think it's too big for Europe now? Just to fight? You fought 3 times in Monaco. Do you think now he's too big? You will have only fights in the U.S.
They got big arenas in Europe. Monaco was a special situation. That was tournaments put on by Prince Albert, and that was a special situation, especially when HBO covered the fight against Murray. That was a great, a lot of people underestimate Martin Murray, but that was a big event, especially in Europe. The UK was huge, and Germany was huge, and Monte Carlo was huge. But when you sell out these type of arenas, or when you sell at Madison Square Garden, now the financial part starts skewing towards the US side, which is great. I mean, that's always been his priority, to build his career here. He just doesn't want to lose his European fan base or his international fan base. So we still plan to take him on the road. It really just depends on the opponent.
Tom, what's next for Klitschko Fury? Is there a press conference next week?
There's going to be a press conference coming up soon, yeah. So that fight's set for now July 9th in Manchester Arena, MEM Arena. Yeah, it's a big fight. Vladimir wants to show he's still the best the best heavyweight in the world. He was such a dominant run. Tyson Fury won the titles. He's clearly now has to be considered the best heavyweight champion. So, Vladimir is hungry to get his titles back, and that's a huge fight.
You've been in boxing many years. Have you ever seen a situation like this where Gennady Golovkin, the king of 160, maybe the best pound for pound, you can argue that he's the best, and he can't get the fight that he wants? What do you do as a promoter?
Look, Canelo's not the only choice. That's the first choice, but it's not the only choice. Billy Joe Saunders is a huge fight over in the UK. Danny Jacobs is a huge fight in New York City. Gilberto Ramirez is a huge fight in Texas. So there's a lot of options for him right now. And we just have to go step by step.
Let's say people and they reject the calls and you say, hey, Tom Loeffler, I'm talking about Triple G fight, and they say, let's call.
That's just like it's not Gennady's style to call people out. It's not my style as a promoter to call people out. But we make offers to fighters and they turn it down. They're not forced to fight them. So, we don't go out and start publicizing things. It's just, okay, we'll go on to the next. We just have to focus on the people that actually agree to get into the ring.
Hey, Tom, let's say everything falls into place, right? Let's say Canelo gets past Khan. In the perfect world, that happens, right? Canelo probably won't fight until September. Those seem to be his 2 dates, right? May and September. Is that something that you guys are willing to wait until September, if that was to happen?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a September fight, you got to start building that up, pretty much right after the May fight.
Right.
But, we'll have to see. There's no guarantee Canelo wins May 7th, and we'll have to see who the winner is, and the winner then will be clearly mandated to fight Gennady. So just we'll let it take its course, and and we have our faith in the WBC. Mauricio Suleiman made the commitment, and we have the agreement. So we'll have to see how it goes May 7th.
Hey Tom, I've heard that you guys don't want to take the fight at the Canelo weight of 155. Would you be open to anything above that, but under 160, like 57, 58?
You know, Gennady feels pretty strong about that, is that, you know, if it's two middleweight champions fighting against each other, and it goes by the WBC rules, there's really no, look, anything's negotiable, whether it's the location, whether it's the splits. But, you know, if you have two middleweights, it's almost disrespecting boxing when you have two middleweight champions fighting at a catchweight. So, you know, if Canelo wasn't mandated to fight Gennady, sure, then everything would be negotiable, including the weight. But if you're doing a unification fight, that's going to be tough to negotiate the weight. Now, if they want to negotiate splits, if they want to have the fight in Mexico, you know, Gennady doesn't care where he fights, so it's just a matter of putting the deal together.
This week I noticed the new Gennady. He's very outspoken, which he was never. I've known him for like 6 or 7 years. He's always been very, very nice.
It's only because his English is getting better, so he can express himself better.
But it's helping, because his popularity is soaring right now. Yeah. People are actually hearing what he has to say. So how do you, Tom, observe from where he was when you met him to where he is now, popularity-wise?
You know, look, when he first wanted to fight here in the United States, and we were meeting with Showtime, we were meeting with HBO, just trying to get him on one of the networks. You know, the boxing fans, the hardcore boxing fans, hardcore media knew who he was. He won the Olympics, he won the silver medal in the Olympics, but he didn't really have, you know, a big push in his professional career when he was fighting in Germany. So that was my job, to build him up over here, and you know, like I said at the press conference, you can look at it one way, where it's been quick, 3.5 years, for a guy that was virtually unknown to the boxing fans, now selling out these arenas. At the same time, if we had gotten a Sergio Martinez fight, if we had gotten even a Felix Sturm fight when he was supposed to fight him, if we had gotten the Cotto or Peter Quillen, or, you know, it would have gone a lot quicker. Even Chavez Jr., certainly that would have been a huge fight at that time 2 years ago. So then it would have been even quicker. But, you know, I think it's just a matter of Gennady's style. We always knew how good he was and how popular he would become. It was just a matter of him getting the exposure. And, you know, look, you know, fighting on HBO now, I think that was his 9th time on HBO. He's definitely, look, when you're on the front page of the sports section of LA Times yesterday, and today on the front page of the sports section of La Opinion, that's a big statement.
Tom, if is Gilberto Ramirez, the super middleweight who won a title 2 weeks ago, is that fight possibly in play, or is there's no reason to move up to 68 just yet?
Look, first we have to see what Canelo does, the winner of Canelo-Khan. Then, again, we'll have to see if Billy Joe Saunders will take the fight. If there's no middleweight champion willing to fight him, then we have to look at the options. We have to look at Danny Jacobs. We have to look at, you know, potentially moving up to 168 if Ramirez will take the fight. You know, look, that's a situation where Bob reached out to see if we were interested, but there's no guarantee that Ramirez, like Bob wanted to make the Chavez fight too, and Chavez didn't take the fight. So there's no guarantee Ramirez will take the fight, even at 168. That's the problem, where a lot of people say, why don't you move up to 168? But look, whether it's DeGale, whether it was Arthur Abraham would never fight Gennady, even if we went to Germany. So there's no guarantees of that, and that's why his focus has always been to unify the middleweight division. If we don't get a champion, then we'll have to look at all the different options.